Before we start, I want you to think about the last mower you bought. How long did it last? 2 years? 3? Did it need a new belt by the second summer? A transmission job by year 4? Now imagine someone whose entire job, every single day, is fixing the mowers that broke down, replacing the same belts, the same spindles, the same transmissions, on the same brands. Season after season, that person was asked just one question: what mower do you own at home? His answer was not John Deere. It was not Husqvarna. It was not anything you have ever seen at Home Depot. And by the end of this video, you will completely understand why. I know exactly what breaks on every machine in that aisle, and I am not buying any of them. He is not alone. When professional mechanics and experienced technicians are asked this same question, they all give the same answer, just in different words. In every mower they personally own shares 3 things in common. Number 1, a fabricated steel deck. Number 2, a commercial-grade engine. And number 3, you will never find it sitting on a pallet at Home Depot or Lowe's. The first mower on this list is one that most American homeowners have walked right past, without ever knowing it existed. It is made by a company called Gravely. Gravely is owned by Ariens, a manufacturer based in Brillion, Wisconsin. Ariens builds machines for professional landscaping crews. Gravely is their residential branch, but the engineering philosophy comes from the commercial world. The specific model mechanics recommend is called the ZTHD. You will not find it at any big box store. It sells through independent dealers, right alongside Gravely's full commercial line. What makes the ZTHD different is how it is built. It uses a 7-gauge fabricated steel deck. Gravely calls it the X Factor 3. To understand why that matters, think of it this way. Stamped decks are pressed out of thin sheet metal, like pressing a shape into a piece of foil. Fabricated decks are welded together from heavy steel plates. After 10 years of use, the difference between those two approaches is enormous. Add a Kawasaki FR Series engine and Hydro Gear ZT 3100 transmissions, the same type of drivetrain technology used on commercial machines, and you start to understand why mechanics trust this mower. Pricing for the Gravely ZTHD runs between about $5,000 and $7,300 depending on deck size. That is not a sale price you will ever see in April. But for someone mowing 1 to 3 acres who wants to buy once and never think about it again, this is the entry point into a completely different category of machine. One important note: this recommendation is specifically for the ZTHD model. The lower-end Gravely ZTE42 has received complaints about deck belts, electrical problems, and warranty issues. These are 2 very different machines. If you are shopping Gravely, that distinction matters. Deck plates crack along weld points from shock loading. Hydraulic lines wear from vibration. Frame welds fatigue over time. On a standard zero-turn, every bump, every root, every rough patch sends that force straight into the machine. On a Ferris IS, that force goes through the suspension system first. The drivetrain does not take the hit. That is why this machine is still running at year 15. The IS 600Z runs a 10-gauge fabricated steel deck, Hydro Gear ZT 3200 transmissions. A step up from the Gravely CT 3100 and Kawasaki engine options with a top speed of 10 miles per hour. The IS 700Z adds an upgraded cutting system called the ICD, and most buyers who research deeply end up choosing that model. Pricing for the IS series runs from about $5,700 to $8,000. One thing mechanics always mention about the Ferris: it is heavy, over 1,000 pounds. Some people see that as a negative. Experienced mechanics see it as a signal. Lighter machines are lighter because they used less material. Ferris used more. For a homeowner with 2 to 5 acres, any meaningful terrain variation, or any property that would shake a standard zero-turn apart in 5 seasons, the Ferris IS series is not overkill. It is the correct answer. Every machine on this list, the Gravely ZTHD, the Skag Patriot, and the Ferris IS, shares the same three traits. Fabricated steel decks, commercial-grade engines, dealer-only distribution. Walk into any big box store, and you will see words like commercial grade printed on the stickers of $1,800 mowers. Find a mechanic who actually believes that. Here is the real-world difference in plain terms. Your neighbor bought a $3,000 John Deere at Home Depot. It needs a new belt every single summer. The mechanic down the street bought a Ferris 10 years ago and has never had a major repair. That is the gap between the two categories. So what do you do with this information? You go find a dealer. You sit on these machines, and you ask the dealer one question. How often do you see your own brands come back into this shop for repairs? That conversation is worth more than any floor display you will ever stand in front of. The machines that professional mechanics choose for their own yards are not secret. They are just not marketed to you. Now you know where to look. If you have ever watched a professional lawn care crew working a large commercial property, you have probably seen a Skag on their trailer. Skag is to commercial zero-turn mowers what Milwaukee Tool is to tradespeople. It is the standard that serious operators trust. Skag makes a model called the Patriot, and it is their version of a handshake to homeowners. It is not a full commercial machine, but it is built with the exact same parts philosophy that keeps commercial Skag units running for over 1,500 hours without major failures. The deck on the Patriot is fully fabricated and welded, and it uses aluminum spindles that are maintenance-free. Here is why when a spindle fails, that means labor costs, replacement parts, downtime, and a trip to the repair shop. On the Skag Patriot, that conversation never happens. The Patriot is also available with the Kawasaki FX Series engine, the same commercial engine line that runs on Skag's full professional units. This is not a home-use version of a commercial engine. It is the actual commercial engine. A 52-inch Skag Patriot with the Kawasaki FX engine runs roughly $8,800 to $9,400. That number will make some people stop watching. But here is the honest question to ask yourself. If your last mower did not make it 3 years without a belt failure or transmission problem, you are not looking at too much machine. You are looking at what a mower is supposed to be. Aluminum spindles you will never replace. A deck that does not flex when the grass is thick and wet. A commercial engine built for daily use, 5 days a week. The third machine is the one mechanics talk about most often. Most homeowners have never heard of it. It does not have a big advertising budget. There is no end-cap display anywhere. But ask a mechanic, someone who has personally seen spindle failures, cracked decks, hydraulic seal leaks, and every way a zero-turn falls apart. And Ferris comes up again and again. And the reason is not about the deck. It is not about the engine. It is about something almost no homeowner has ever thought to ask about. Suspension. The Ferris IS series uses a patented independent suspension system. Coilover shocks on every wheel mean the entire machine absorbs impacts before the force reaches the frame. This is completely different from a suspension seat, which most other brands offer as an upgrade. A suspension seat protects the operator. That is it. It does nothing for the deck, the spindle bearings, the hydraulic seals, the frame welds, or the transmissions. The Ferris suspension protects all of those things, not just the person sitting on it. Here is how a mechanic explains it. Every single thing that destroys a zero-turn mower from the inside out is caused by constant vibration and impact. Spindle bearings fail from repeated impact stress.